Welcome back. Shocking new images showing the dangers of President Biden's wide-open border. A suspected cartel gunman seen walking across the Texas border, holding rifles and wearing body armor. The House Homeland Security Committee says that they will investigate how Mexican cartels are taking advantage of the Customs and Border Patrol One app, the CBP app. Chairman Mark Green putting out this statement, quote, President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas have provided cartel organizations more innovative ways to evade our laws, rake in money from human and drug trafficking, and wreak havoc in our country. Joining me right now is the man himself, Tennessee Congressman, Chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, Mark Green. Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Maria.
So what do you make of these pictures, and what can you tell us in terms of what you know that the cartels are taking home? How much money are they making on this human trafficking and drug trafficking? They are the ones who are deciding who comes into America, the drug cartels.
Yeah, absolutely. No one goes across our southern border without approval and a remittance to the drug cartels. And in the case of like Chinese nationals, it's $50,000 a person. They're making around $13 to $14 billion a year just on human trafficking alone. And we told them, we warned them that the CBP One app will be basically used by the cartels. And sure enough, Washington Examiner broke the story, I think it was a week ago, that they've set up a specific VPN and are filling out the applications for people to speed them into our country. It's absolutely absurd.
So former President Trump is calling out President Biden for refusing to take on China. Watch this.
How can you be tough on China when they're paying you a lot of money? We have a compromise. We have a Manchurian candidate. They know too much. So he can't be tough on China. That's why he allows blimps flying over the country, right over our nuclear sites.
So we want to know more about this. New reports show President Biden is expected to issue an executive order sometime this week, which would curb U.S. investments in Chinese tech sectors, Congressman. But we've been waiting on this executive order now for months. And we've seen the weak response that Joe Biden has given China, despite a surveillance balloon, police stations in America, massive cyber activity, hacking the State Department and the Commerce Department. And there's like no response. He just keeps sending cabinet members to China. Why?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think of it, if you just add it up. I mean, and one of the things that's probably the most concerning to me was the hack on our transmission cables to Guam, our military forces that are in Guam. China hacked that. Why we haven't done this months ago. And Josh Hawley and I had a bill that we introduced 3 or 4 years ago about licensing requirements for tech to China. I mean, there's all this legislative activity, but the Democrats, and especially Joe Biden, are not participating.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell told House Republicans to pump the brakes on the impeachment talk, saying that it ought to be rare and it's not good for the country, Congressman. And yet the House Oversight Committee, your colleagues in the House, have identified millions and millions of dollars that Joe Biden and his family have taken in. What should Republicans do?
Well, I think we need an impeachment inquiry. We've got to go ahead and get this started. That gives the Congress a significant degree of power beyond just our traditional subpoena power to get to the bottom of this. I mean, it's very clear the actions of the president in favoring China, on top of very clear shell companies with millions of dollars routed to multiple family members. And this is proven. This happened. And so it's time for Congress to do it. And I disagree with the minority leader on that.
Jonathan Madison.
We talk about a number of these issues, Congressman. Back to your prior statements on the issue of the border, and this is important because we talked this morning about how there was a 124% or was it 134% increase in border crossings down in Arizona in 1 month, by the way. How do we combat that? How do we strengthen our border security? If you could tell the American people what needs to be done, and why isn't the Biden administration doing anything about it?
Look, they want to fundamentally change our country. They've allowed millions and millions of people to come in just, a little over 2 years. And if you want to fix it, have the Senate and the president sign H.R. 2, the Secure the Border Act. It will do it. It addresses all the issues from actually using ICE detention from not granting automatic asylum. They're basically just granting catch and release. That's incentivizing this mass migration wave, and the cartels are taking advantage of it with the fentanyl and the human trafficking. It's actually a crime against humanity. It shouldn't be happening, but this president is doing it to fundamentally change the United States.
So what are you doing about it, Congressman? What can be done? I mean, we're looking at policy impacting American citizens, whether it is this wide open border or, reckless spending, which sent inflation to 40-year highs, or these reports of corruption. We're waiting on answers. The White House, pretty much in so many words, called Kevin McCarthy a liar when he appeared on Fox News the other night to say the Biden family should explain all of this. We've got 20 shell companies. We've identified millions of dollars they've taken in. Say something about it. And they say that he lied.
Yeah, on that, Jamie Comer is digging in, and I think, again, my recommendation is we move to an impeachment inquiry on that stuff. Now, in terms of the southern border, we're in the middle. We're in phase 3 of a 5-phase investigation where we are going to lay out everything that's gone on, including lies to the United States Congress, including, the basic deception with regards to things like the horsewhipping incident, tons of dishonest statements from Alejandro Mayorkas, and laws that have been ignored, court orders that have been basically ignored. We're going to show all of this to our colleagues, and hopefully we can, move that into the Judiciary Committee and get to the bottom of it, and perhaps get Alejandro Mayorkas out of the job.
So then you're talking about a simultaneous inquiry into impeachment for Joe Biden and the potential for impeaching Alejandro Mayorkas as well.
We're doing the investigation right now. We're going to put all of that together in a final recommendation. I'm anticipating probably 1st of October. What we decide to recommend to the Judiciary Committee will depend on the rest of the findings, but right now it's pretty convincing.
Congressman, thank you so much. We'll be watching all of that. Mark Green
Thanks,
joining
Maria.
us this morning. Thank you, sir. We'll be right back. Stay with us.